Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to sit down and film a fun little challenge video for you guys. Before we get into the video, make sure that you are following me over on my Instagram. My name is @Malonemua, just like here on YouTube. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, be my friend. Subscribe to my channel until the end. Subscribe. Okay, and then for today's Bible verse, it comes from Ephesians 3:20, and it says, "Now all glory to God, who is able through his mighty power at work within us to accomplish infinitely more than we may ask or think." So this scripture basically is just saying that all glory to God, all praise to God, and because he can accomplish infinitely more than we may ask or think. So like way more, the dreams that you have in your mind, like of what you think you're gonna do in your future, the things that you wanna do in your future, God can accomplish infinitely more, like way more than you could ever think or imagine, which is so great, it's so incredible. So don't lose hope of your future, because even the incredible dreams that you have, God can do even more than that if you have faith in him, if you love him, and if you follow him. Okay guys, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this, what is this challenge called? Using every eyeshadow? Using every shadow in a palette? Challenge? Yeah. Say a prayer for me. This is gonna be tough. Okay, so brows are already done. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in and prime my eyelids and carve out under my brows. So I wanted to do this part on camera because I've been doing a different technique for this. So I've been going in with the MAC Select Cover Up in NW15, and I've been using this to carve out under my brows for quite a while, for a few weeks at least. But I saw so there's this new technique that all the incredible makeup artists I think they live in the UK, they all have been doing it this way. So I started priming my eyes using this without setting it with a powder, and at first it was really tricky and kind of a pain in the butt to blend anything in, but I've been doing it a lot more and trying to get the hang of it because it ends up looking so pretty when they do it. So I've been practicing a lot, and I think I've gotten it down for the most part, but I wanted to show you guys how I do it. So I'm just gonna go in with that MAC Select Cover Up Concealer in NW15, and I think this is the lightest one they have. So what I'm gonna do for that is I'm gonna go in with, where is the brush that I use? Okay, so usually I would go in with a Sigma Flat Definer E15 brush to carve out my brows, but lately I have been ditching that, and I've been using the Sigma Cream Color E58 brush, and this is the same brush that I use to do a cut crease, but I just have been using this because it's easier to use to prime my eyes. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do this because you might be like, girl, what the heck, I'm so confused. So I have a little bit of that concealer on the back of my hand, and I am just going to dip into it here. And then I'm just gonna go in and line underneath my brows like usual. I'll carve them out, and then I'll show you guys what I do to prime my eyes. Okay, so now that the brow is carved out, now I just take more of that product and I just start working it in and tapping it in with the brush, and I drag it down onto my lid. Okay, so as you can see, I just went ahead and spread that product all evenly all throughout on my lid. So now that the product is all the way on my lid, it's a little bit tacky. So what I'm gonna do with that brush is I'm just gonna take it and I'm going to tap the concealer in, and I'm gonna do this until the concealer is pretty much dried all the way down. This concealer dries down matte, so I just continue to tap it in. Again, I'm not moving anything around, I'm not swiping, I'm just lightly tapping and pushing that concealer in, and it will dry as I do this. And I do this for quite a while until it is dried down all the way. And you'll understand why when I start blending, because if you leave it too tacky and you don't give it this time to kind of dry down a little bit, it does end up blending and everything, the eyeshadow, it just ends up being a mess. So you do want to wait a second, tap it in, let it get a little bit dried down, let it get a little bit matte and less tacky before you go in with an eyeshadow. And the reason why I'm not using a beauty sponge to do this is because I feel like using a beauty sponge, it takes away the coverage that you get with a brush like this. When I tap it in, it gives me more coverage, and if I go in with a wet beauty sponge, it kind of just removes the coverage, and I want as much coverage as I can get on my lid, especially because I have very discolored lids. Okay, so now that the eyes are all primed, it's time to go in with eyeshadow. So girl, we got some work to do today because the palette that I chose, I am straight playing myself right now. I don't know why I chose this palette, but I'm gonna go in with the Violet Voss Holy Grail palette, which has 20 shadows. Do you see this? I'm gonna use every single one of these shadows on my eyes today. You better stay tuned to see if it turns out. Okay, so I'm really nervous. I have no idea what I'm gonna go for. Like, I don't even have a vision in my head. I just know that I'm gonna have to use a lot of shadows today and really just try my best to make this look somewhat good. So first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go with a Sigma Tapered Blending E35 brush, just a crease brush. And I guess I'll go into the lightest. All right, so we're gonna go in with the shades Bestie and Transition from this palette, which are, that's Bestie and that's Transition. And I'm just going to mix those two shades together and pop them. Oh, actually, is Thanks a Latte? Oh no, okay, so Thanks a Latte is even lighter. So I'm actually gonna take that one in first. Okay, and I'm just gonna dip into that shadow there, and then I am just going to start buffing this into my crease. And when you prime your eyes like this, I highly suggest tapping the shadow in instead of just going in like and blending. I think that it works a lot better because I have done this a few times to tap that shadow into the crease, and then once you have it just roughly tapped in, you can go in little mini circular motions to blend it in. And obviously this shade that I'm using right now doesn't have much color. It's kind of just a very, very light shade, but I'm just going back and forth in little circular motions to blend this in. Okay, so now that that is all blended in the crease, now I'm gonna go in with that Transition and Bestie shade, and I'm just gonna mix those two together. And we are gonna pop this into the crease as well. Like I said, I'm just tapping it in, and then I will go in little circular motions and blend it out. Also, the higher that I get up into the crease, the less pressure that I'm putting on the brush. Okay, next up, I'm gonna be going in with the shade Hashtag, which is just this super pretty bright orange color, and I'm taking that on the same old brush, doing the same old thing. I'm honestly not expecting this look to turn out very great because using 20 shadows on my eye, I feel like that's just asking for a disaster. But that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna try my absolute best, girl. Okay guys, we are chugging right along. That is 4 shadows so far. Okay, now we're gonna go in with the shade Are You Kitten Me, which is right here, and this is pretty much just like Bestie in Transition, but it's a little bit deeper, like burly. And I'm gonna take the same brush and do the same thing. Just packing this shadow right above the others. I have a feeling all of these shadows together in my crease is just gonna turn out like super muddy and gross, but we're gonna hope that it doesn't. Okay, we have 3 more matte shades to incorporate. So first one I'm gonna go in with is the shade Glamping, which is this shade right here. I actually don't think I've ever used this shade. It almost looks like it's a little bit shimmery, but when you swatch it, it has no shimmer to it. So it's definitely a matte shade, but in the pan it looks shimmery, which is weird. Anyways, I'm gonna be taking a Sigma Blending E25 brush for this part, and I'm just gonna stick this right into my crease. I feel like I'm not getting any payoff from this shadow. Maybe my eye just has so much shadow on it right now that it's like, girl, I ain't taking any more. Why do I feel like that's shimmery now that I put it on? Oh, because it is. We're just gonna keep doing it. We're just gonna pretend that that's not a semi-shimmery shade, even though it is. It's one of those shades that tricks you. It looks shimmery in the pan, then you swatch it and it's like matte, but then it has a tiny bit of a glow to it. Too late to turn around now. Alrighty, next up, I'm gonna go in with the shade Wine and Dine, which is this super cranberry color. And I'm gonna take that on the same Sigma brush, and I'm gonna take this right into the crease. I'm hoping this shade adds some color and kind of saves our lives. Okay, so I'm just going back in with that Sigma Tapered Blending E35, and I'm trying to blend out the edges of this. And because so we don't have any harsh lines, we are looking a little muddy, girls. And the shadows are not wanting to blend very well anymore. I'm kind of getting a lot of streakiness in the eyes. I think with so many shadows on top of that concealer, like I can see perfect rings around my eyes. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the shadows are no longer wanting to blend. I guess that's what happens when you go in with 10,000 matte shades and then go in with a shimmer shade above them and blend it in, and then go in with another matte shade. Lesson learned. All right, so now that we have most of the disaster done, let's see. I still have to go in with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 shades. Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna go in and cut my crease, and to do this, I'm gonna be using that MAC Select Cover Up in NW15. This is what I always use to cut my crease. So I'm just gonna go in and do that and hope that that somewhat helps. Okay, so now that the crease has been cut, girl, we got some fallout happening. Now I'm gonna go in with the most shimmer shadows you have ever seen placed on one person's lid. So the first one that I'm gonna go in with, Violet Voss, you playing me right now though, because how am I supposed to know? That is like a matte shade that has barely any shimmer to it. And I ain't trying to put that in my crease, but I also am not trying to waste that on the lid space. So I'm gonna be going in with the shade Chill, which is just a pretty gold color, but this is one of those ones that's like a shimmer matte. One of the ones trying to play me. And I'm taking that on a Sigma Cut Crease E62 brush. I usually use this brush just to pack any shade on top of the concealer in my crease. And I'm just gonna take this on the very inner part of that crease, just lightly tapping that shade in. Oh, it's actually a really pretty color. Who'd have thunk it? Okay, great. So now we have that shade on the very inner corner. So now we're gonna have to switch to another shade because that's just what we're gonna have to do. So now I'm gonna go in to the shade Cool Beans, which is this shade right here, another shimmer shade, and taking that on the same brush. And I'm just going to continue onto that lid. Here's the problem though. Those are two totally different toned golds. So we have like a super yellow gold transitioning to a very cool tone gold. If you guys haven't seen Greatest Showman, I don't know what you're doing with your life. You need to go see it in theaters right now. Like for real, stop watching this video and go watch it. Just kidding, don't stop watching this video. But when you're done, I highly recommend that you go see The Greatest Showman. Like 12 times. Okay, cool. So now we have those two shades down. So now I'm gonna be going in with this shade Toffee, which is a very true gold color. And this one is like a very bomb shimmery shade. This is almost like a foiled shadow. And I'm just going to place that next up on that lid. Ooh, we have 3 different shades of gold on our lid right now. Okay, we're gonna have to mix some shades here because we're running out of some room. So now the next thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go in with a mixture of On Fleek and Cranberry Splash, which is just these 2 shades here and here in the palette. And I'm going to take the same brush and we are going to pack these onto the outer part of that eye. My lid right now looks like a palette just threw up on it. Okay, we're getting closer. We're making some progress. Even though we're not looking that great, we're getting close. So I'm gonna mix Brownie Points and Teddy Bear now. These are the 2 brown shades at the bottom of the palette. And I'm gonna go in with a Sigma Small Tapered Blending E45 brush. And I'm just gonna tap those 2 shades. And I'm going to put this on the outer corner of my eye. I wanna make sure that this is blended in the best that it can be, but I also wanna make sure that you're still able to see that red, that like cranberry metallic that we put down on the lid. So I'm just lightly going in and blending this. But can we talk about that fallout real quick? Girl, I don't know if you can see, but it is like not, like I'm getting this gnarly line where it is not wanting to blend in. Guys, I don't know if you can see the line right here, but OMG, there's one right here too. This is the worst. This is the worst. Because this eye actually wouldn't be terrible once I cleaned everything up, but it's gonna be terrible because that shadow won't freaking stick to my eye. Are you happy, YouTube? Use every shadow in the palette. Okay, so here's the tea. I'm gonna go ahead and go do my face off camera because this video would be forever long if I did my face on camera. So I'm gonna do my face makeup off camera. We're hoping that things get better from here. Those lines are gonna drive me nutso. So already I hate the look because it's just ruined because of that. But so I'm gonna do a face and then we'll go in with 6 more shadows. Guys, can you see that line right here? It's like this. There's a line there, and then there's another one right here. where my eye just was like, sorry, not trying to take pigment today. Come back and try again tomorrow, girl. Okay, y'all, we are back and face is done, lashes are on. We're starting to look a little bit better. I'm getting a little bit happier with how we're looking. So we still have a few shadows to use, so let's get to it. Also, if you can hear music, the people underneath me, I live in an apartment, the people underneath me really like to blast their music really loud. They think that we all just want to hear their music. Like, love, live, laugh, love. Okay, now we're gonna go in with a Sigma Pencil E30 brush, and I'm gonna go in with a mixture of Crystal and Ploof, which are the top two shades right here. These are just really nice highlight shades. So I'm gonna go in with those two and just do more Crystal and a tiny bit of Ploof. Ploof. And I'm going to highlight the brow bone in the inner corner. A normal person would probably go downstairs and be like, hey, I'm trying to film a video. Could you please maybe keep it down a little bit? But y'all know me. Running from confrontation from day one, straight out the womb. Okay, so I still haven't used a few of these shadows. So the first one that I haven't used is Awesome Sauce, and it's just this pretty light gold right here. I'm gonna go in with that same Sigma Pencil E30 brush, and I'm just gonna dip into that Awesome Sauce shade, and I'm just gonna put this right on the most inner part of my lower lash line. Okay, cool, so now we're gonna go in with the shade How You Doin', which is this shade right here, and it is just a kind of a orangey pinky kind of color. And I'm gonna go into that same brush and I'm gonna run this on the center of that lash line. Ooh, girl. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with the shade Bat My Eyes, which is just this shimmery brown shade over here, and on that same brush, and I'm gonna put this on the outer part of the eye. I need to connect that darkness on the top to the darkness on the bottom, or else I'm gonna lose my mind. So I'm gonna, ooh, girl, throwing stuff everywhere. So I'm gonna go in with a mixture of the Wine and Dine shade and the Teddy Bear shade for this, which is just like that. The Wine and Dine is like the cranberry color, and then the Teddy Bear is just a deep dark brown. And I'm gonna run this underneath my lash line, just on that outer part, and I'm gonna kind of connect it. Okay, yo, we only have one more shade to go in, and it's the shade So Jelly, and it's kind of this odd, kind of pinky gold reflect color, and I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do with it. So this is the only one I see. This is a lip brush from Eco Tools, but sometimes you gotta use what the Lord gives you. Ooh, that's kind of fun. That kind of like added like a cute little pink pop on the inner corner. Ooh, I kind of like that. Okay, yo, I got to go do a few final touches, and then we'll be right back to look at the final look of 20 eyeshadows on the eyes. Alrighty guys, so final thoughts. We are finally done with all the shadows on our eyes. Now let me just say, from far away, girl, we are not looking bad. From far away, it's like, ooh, what is on your eyes, girl? Slay work, yes. But when you get up close, no, I could still see that line, and it's driving me nuts. So, and the blend is a little crazy. We're a little muddy, a little crazy up in here. But I will say that I'm pretty impressed with myself, because putting 20 eyeshadows on your eye, that is very difficult in my book. Some people might be like, that's easy, I do it all the time. But for me, I usually stick to like 6 or 7 shadows on my eye, usually. So to do 20 is quite a challenge for me. I will say that this palette was more easy to do it with, because it does have a lot of the same like range of shadows that can be used together. If I were to go for like an Anastasia Prism palette, girl, no, But I am pretty impressed with how this turned out. I'm actually pretty proud of myself. So if you're wondering what the lashes are, also, they are the Bold Face Makeup in Not So Basic Super Stacked. Girl, they are bomb. Love these lashes, live for them. And they're only like $6.99, I think, so totally worth it. Also, the lips, in case you're wondering, lips are MAC Velvet Teddy Lipstick, topped with Too Faced Melted Latex Girl on Top gloss. Alrighty guys, so that is all I have for you for this video. I hope that you guys liked seeing me struggle my way through this. And if you are still here, if you stuck it out to the end, girl, you a real one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about how this look turned out. Are you impressed? Are you not impressed? If you're not, girl, you can go to the next video. You don't have to stay. Anyways, I love you guys so, so much. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel before you leave. See you later, alligators.
I'm bad in love. Ooh, ooh. Can't blame me for trying. You know I'd be lying. All the shine of 1,000 spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough.
Da-dum, 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 da-dum.